Travel has become one of the defining symbols of globalization, offering individuals the opportunity to explore new cultures, forge international relationships, and drive economic growth. For decades, China has been at the heart of this global movement. As the world's most populous country and a leading economic powerhouse, China also contributes the largest share of international tourists. However, in a significant and controversial move, 5 countries have announced plans to ban Chinese travelers outright in 2025. This decision comes as a culmination of various factors, ranging from public health concerns to geopolitical disputes, environmental sustainability issues, and cultural tensions. While travel bans are not unprecedented, targeting one nationality on this scale has raised serious questions about the implications for global mobility, economic interdependence, and diplomatic relations. In this article, we explore why these 5 nations, Japan, India, Australia, the United States, and the United Kingdom, have chosen this path. We examine the underlying motivations behind these bans, how they align with broader policy goals, and the potential impacts on the global stage. By diving into this complex issue, we aim to shed light on a pivotal moment in the history of international travel. 1. The countries banning Chinese travelers. Each of the 5 countries enacting bans on Chinese travelers in 2025 has its unique motivations and justifications. However, common threads, such as public health, geopolitics, environmental pressures, and social dynamics, run through their decisions. Below, we explore the specific reasons and anticipated impacts for each nation. A. Japan, health and safety. Take priority. Japan has long been one of the most popular travel destinations for Chinese tourists, welcoming millions annually before the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the pandemic profoundly altered Japan's approach to public health and international mobility, leaving lingering concerns that influence the country's current policies. Motivations. Behind the ban. Health transparency. Issues. Japan's policymakers have pointed to perceived shortcomings in China's transparency during the early stages of COVID-19, citing fears of inadequate reporting on potential health risks. Future disease outbreaks. With global health systems still reeling from the pandemic, Japan seeks to preemptively guard against future risks posed by high-volume international travel. Impact on Japan. Tourism sector. Losses. Chinese tourists accounted for nearly 30% of foreign visitors to Japan before the pandemic. Regions like Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka will feel the absence of this demographic deeply. Public support. Domestic opinion in Japan generally supports these measures, particularly among older populations who are more vulnerable to health risks. Or India, rising. Geopolitical tensions. India and China share a history of geopolitical rivalry, from territorial disputes to broader competition for influence in Asia. In recent years, this rivalry has escalated, leading to policies aimed at limiting Chinese influence, including travel bans. Motivations. Behind the ban, national security concerns. Indian officials have cited fears of espionage and cyber threats posed by certain Chinese nationals. Territorial disputes. The ongoing conflict in areas like Ladakh has exacerbated mistrust between the two countries, making broader restrictions on Chinese citizens politically expedient. Impact on India. Tourism. Dynamics. India is not a top destination for Chinese tourists, so the ban may have limited direct economic impact. However, the move aligns with India's broader strategic goals of countering China. Economic fallout. Trade relations between India and China, valued at billions of dollars annually, could suffer further as a result of these restrictions. Australia, balancing tourism and sustainability. Australia has enjoyed a steady influx of Chinese tourists who have significantly contributed to its economy. However, growing diplomatic tensions and environmental concerns have prompted a reassessment of this relationship. Motivations. Behind the ban, political disputes. Trade disagreements and concerns about Chinese espionage have soured Australia-China relations, influencing travel policies. Environmental pressures. The strain of mass tourism on natural reserves, particularly in regions like the Great Barrier Reef, has led Australia to prioritize ecotourism over large-scale international travel. Impact on Australia. Tourism sector. Chinese travelers are among the top spenders in Australia, so their absence will likely affect businesses in cities like Sydney and Melbourne. Ecotourism opportunities. Some policymakers argue that reducing mass tourism may benefit Australia's environmental goals, creating room for more sustainable travel initiatives. D. The United States economic and security rivalry. The United States and China are locked in a fierce rivalry over global influence, spanning trade, technology, and security. The U.S. travel ban reflects broader concerns over national security and economic competition. Motivations behind the ban. Espionage. Concerns. Allegations of Chinese nationals engaging in intellectual property theft have led to heightened scrutiny. Trade and retaliation. The ban is seen as part of broader sanctions aimed at countering China's restrictive policies on U.S. entities. Impact on the United States. Economic effects. Retail and hospitality industries, particularly in major cities like New York and Los Angeles, will feel the absence of high-spending Chinese tourists. Diplomatic fallout. The ban risks further straining U.S.-China relations, complicating efforts to address shared global challenges like climate change. E. The United Kingdom, political stances and cultural friction. The United Kingdom's decision to restrict Chinese travelers stems from political tensions over China's domestic and foreign policies, particularly regarding Hong Kong. Motivations behind the ban. Human rights. Concerns. The UK has cited China's treatment of Uyghur Muslims and its actions in Hong Kong as key reasons for the ban. Cultural friction. Reports of disruptive behavior by large tour groups have fueled public support for these restrictions. Impact on the United Kingdom. Tourism and education. The UK risks losing revenue from Chinese tourists and students, both of whom contribute significantly to its economy. Diplomatic implications. While the ban serves as a political statement, it risks alienating a major trading partner. 2. Shared themes. Behind the bans. While each country has unique reasons for its policies, several common themes emerge. A. Public health legacy. The COVID-19 pandemic has left lasting scars on global health systems. Countries imposing bans on Chinese travelers often cite fears of insufficient transparency and the risk of new outbreaks. B. Geopolitical competition. Geopolitical rivalries, particularly between China and countries like the US and India, are a driving force behind these restrictions. Travel bans are increasingly being used as tools of diplomatic leverage. C. Environmental sustainability. Mass tourism's environmental toll has pushed nations like Australia and Japan to prioritize sustainability over large-scale travel. Restricting travelers from high-volume markets like China aligns with these goals. D. Social and cultural dynamics. Over-tourism and cultural friction have led to growing resentment in host communities. Travel bans aim to balance tourism growth with preserving local cultures and infrastructure. Conclusion. The decision by 5 countries to ban Chinese travelers in 2025 marks a significant shift in global travel policies. Rooted in a mix of public health concerns, geopolitical rivalries, environmental sustainability goals, and social dynamics, these bans highlight the complexities of balancing national interests with global interconnectedness. While these policies may address immediate concerns, they risk creating long-term consequences, from economic fallout in tourism-dependent regions to heightened diplomatic tensions. As the world continues to grapple with these challenges, fostering dialogue and collaboration will be crucial to ensuring a more inclusive and sustainable future for international travel. Whether these bans achieve their intended goals or exacerbate global divides remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that 2025 will serve as a critical test case for how nations navigate the evolving dynamics of global mobility in an increasingly complex world.